we're just going to briefly go over what we have learned in part 1. Then we're going to go and we're going to do some demonstrations. We're going to use some examples to put this concept into practice. Stay till the end, and I've got 2 key takeaways that I want to share with you out of this video series. My name is Richard, I'm your art instructor, and welcome to Art Focused. So, in a previous lesson, we discussed cubes, spheres, cylinders, cones. And here we can see how the actual light and the dark, the actual gradation of light and dark, models a 3-dimensional dynamic to the object. We can see where the source of light comes from and in the opposite direction and the respective cast shadows. And you can see how that actually influences the dimension in the object. So one of the biggest things would be to take any source of light that you can find, a lamp, shine it upon the object, and move that around and see how the cast shadow and see how the shadows and the light behaves. It's not just shading. It is the light and the dark component that we've got to both be mindful of, and what turning point of light and dark it creates, and what shapes the light and the dark create. Let's go with our first example here, this onion. We can see it's not a completely circular shape. There's a bit of an elongation there at the back. Right, so I would get that circle and then get that shape like that there. Okay, and then I've got that extended cast shadow there. And here I can see that there's light, there's a little bit of a mid-band there. That's actually quite faint, and then I go into a darker shadow there. And when you do this, keep your pencil nice and flat. Move your hand freely to get a kind of a better kind of technique going there. Okay, and we're just going to first get where everything is light and dark. There's some shadow here as well. There's a cast shadow there. I just want to get that shape there. Underneath here is the darkest shadow. There. And then that shadow there is fairly dark. So once I've got that, then I can start by getting that edge there, using the dark shadow to get that edge. There we go. Now, once we've brought that in, bring that in like that there. There we go. Bring that dark. Just want to go up with a bit of a cross-hatching technique just to get the feel of the roundness of the onion there. There we go. Okay, just keep practicing that. And the different pressures, practice getting that pressure in there as well. Some shadows into the onion there as well, like that. If I take the example of this cup, let's just draw this cup. And let's say the light is hitting in from that direction there. Okay, yeah, it is kind of like somewhere like that, okay? Let's draw this cup. Get that negative space there, and then we get this shape for the ear. Remember, overlap. Overlap your shapes. Very important. See, get a nice flow feeling. Okay, and then we've got the shadow, cast shadow, going over in that direction there. All right. Just giving you a general direction of where the things are going there. So then I've got my cast shadow there as a shape, and I've got this area here as a shadow. As we can see, the light traveling in this direction causes that side there to be light, but in here dark. So we see there as light, and then the opposite side here is in shadow. Let me just indicate that for you. So go about everything. This is my tip to you. Go about everything first, just getting the light and getting where the dark is. And now we can go for more deep, nuanced approach. And now we can start deepening those values. Okay, if I want to draw the rim of that cup. I can see the light coming in there. And let's get this shape here. Bring that in there like that. And then there we've got that shadow shape coming in like that there. There we go. There's that shadow shape there as well, giving us the roundness of the ear. And now I can just emphasize the shadows a bit darker. That turning edge we can just fade a little bit by going lighter over that with those hatching lines. I think this pencil will work a bit better. There we go, there we get the roundness. We can go now for a more nuanced approach and darken there and darken in there. Remember that the shadow, the value there, helps to indicate the line as well. And there we can see the light hitting there. Okay, and then we've got the shadow that's casting on the other side like that. Okay, I just want to put more straight lines there like that. I think I'm going to get a better straight line, bringing it in this direction like that there. Nice and dark there. And there you can see that. Okay, and also here you can see the darker shadow there. The shadow is darkest, closest to the object. And there, that shows in that shadow shape there. And there you have your demonstration of how this would actually work in practice. Key takeaway number 1. Break up your light and shadow shapes into manageable shapes. Key takeaway number 2. Find the definite defining turning edge between the light and the dark of your object. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, as I will be uploading some more drawing tutorials soon.